The Aldis podcast is brought to you by Aldis International, supplying your expert AI and digital transformation staffing needs across the US and Europe. Today, you are listening to our AI in Action series, where leading minds in AI from across the world share their story, success, and advice. AI in Action cuts through the hype and explores the true impact of artificial intelligence in our world today.
You're listening to AI in Action. I'm your host, JP Valentine. Our guests today are Michael Senftleber and Alex Schwarm. Michael is the CTO and Alex is the head of data for Arrive Logistics. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you, JP. It's great to be here.
Thank you. Great to meet you.
Yes, so for context for people listening, I was fortunate enough to have Michael on the show previously. He's been one of our earlier guests, and we've asked Alex to join us because there's been a lot of exciting developments over the past year to 18 months. So for the audience listening who didn't come across the first episode, Michael, I'd ask you if you can give us a very quick overview of who are Arrive Logistics, who you are, what you do, mission of the business.
Arrive Logistics is a freight brokerage. We work with shippers, basically everyone from small, medium businesses all the way up through the Fortune 50, basically people with things to ship, supply chain logistics going from one place to another. That's who we work with on one side. On the other side, we work with carriers, companies that have trucks to transport that are available. And we work to ensure that the goods that the shippers have to move can freely move through carriers. And we connect those two sides. A brokerage really adds value in ensuring that we have capacity that can meet the needs of the shippers, but also that we have the connectivity to do business the way that they need to do, the visibility so that we can show where those goods are all the way throughout the supply chain, and the level of service to ensure that everything happens on time and as it should. And as these are real goods moving in the real world, things often come up. And that's where we need to add that extra level of service to ensure everything happens smoothly.
Thank you for that. Super helpful. So, Alex, let's start with yourself then. You obviously joined Arrive Logistics 18 months ago or so. Firstly, could you give us a brief background of yourself and then what brought you to Arrive Logistics?
Sure, happy to. I got my PhD in chemical engineering a long time ago. And in that process, I did a lot of research in mathematical modeling, optimization, and control theory, a lot of the things that we now call data science and reinforcement learning. And I joined Applied Materials, worked there for a little over a decade, mainly working on software applications to sell to other PhDs, which was fun. I got to travel all over the world, got a little sick of waking up early in the morning and talking to Europe and staying late at night and talking to Asia. So I joined Dun & Bradstreet and eventually became the VP of data science there. And that was a lot of fun, but heard about Arrive Logistics and man, this place is growing like a rocket ship. It's amazing. I've never been part of a team. So much industry capability and experience and expertise. And so bringing in data science to help that team grow and expand has been a really amazing experience for me.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I want to jump straight into talking about the growth over the past 12 months and what's fueled the growth. What were some of the projects that required you to bring in new people? What areas did you strengthen? And just an overall assessment of the last 12 months. Michael, if I could start with you, if you could just give us the high level, what was driving the growth? And then Alex, you can break it down for us, skill set by skill set, why it was so important and where you are today.
Absolutely. So the company, as we've mentioned multiple times, has grown like crazy. Last year, I think it was in September, October, we hit $1 billion in revenue year to date last year. This year in October, we hit $2 billion year to date in revenue. So we've doubled in size as far as revenue goes, but also just in the number of customers we serve. We work with 10,000 or so different shippers, different customers. We work with tens of thousands of different carriers. And so we have relationships all over North America, a lot within the United States, but we're also in Canada and Mexico. as well. We handle around 5,000 shipments every single day, and every one of those shipments that comes through is basically a two-sided negotiated transaction. And as the item moves through our system, we get hundreds of different data points, whether those are data points about appointments or where the shipment is along the way. So not only have we grown as a business, we've grown in volume of users, volume of objects flowing through the system, volume of updates and bits of data on each of those objects. And so really just growing in every direction, which creates a phenomenal problem to have, lots and lots of data. And that's where Alex comes in to help with those pieces of data. We acquired a company in February of 2022, which is a company called Forager, who really specialized in cross-border operations. And so while we had a little bit in Mexico and Canada, that's really enabled us to bring on some great people, industry veterans who have skills in that area, but also some technology and some great technologists who have really specialized in all the complexities that happen on the borders, with crossing the borders, with inspections and customs brokerages and everything else. So yeah, lots of growth.
Lots of growth, which is a great segue then, Alex, into your primary responsibilities. You head up the data team, which is data science, data engineering, and analytics. Can you talk to us about what it's been like since joining the last 18 months? What has been most exciting? What have you enjoyed? And walk us through the growth of the overall team since you came on board.
One way I like to think about this is you can think of this as kind of two different axes. You can think of this as breadth and depth. And so some companies grow in breadth and bring in new products and bring in new capabilities. Some companies grow in depth and add to their existing capabilities or develop additional capabilities. At Arrive, we're doing both, of course. And so we're, as Michael said, we're expanding our offerings. So we're now have a definite presence in the cross-border market. And so that's an additional kind of breadth of capability. We're expanding in LTL, less than truck, which is another kind of type of offering in the freight industry. And there's a myriad of others that we're also expanding in as we've developed that strategy of expanding from breadth and a depth perspective. At the same time, we've also grown from that depth perspective. And so that would be the extreme intensification, I guess I could call it, of digital implementations of all the things that happen in freight. So tracking, quoting, all of these processes are getting more and more digitally focused. And so, of course, that means more and more data, more and more automated processes, more and more opportunities for us to do things faster and do things that take advantage of things like data science and allow decisioning to be incorporated in these processes. And so as a part of that, we've also been helping the business understand these new kind of breadth opportunities. So we have that kind of analytics capability that we need to have in place. And so as a part of kind of this past year, what we've done is we've restructured our organization to better support our different business stakeholders. And so we've created an analytics engineering capability within Arrive. We had a kind of more kind of BI focused reporting analyst function, but now we've separated out an analytics capability, analytics engineering capability that is its own specific role, and still kept, of course, that reporting analyst role. And that's been a growth opportunity, and that allows that analytics engineering team to focus on the data to make sure we have the 4 C's: clean, comprehensive, correct, and consistent. And we implement that kind of methodology across all of our different domains that we support, whether that's focused on carriers, shippers, or customers, or tracking, or other kind of different applications that we have. And so we've structured this organization to better scale with the overall company. So on the analytics engineering side, we've kind of implemented that new capability. But then on the data science side, so when I joined, there were basically 3 data scientists, and now we're up to 7, which doesn't seem like a huge amount, but actually has a fairly significant impact on our ability to scale different capabilities. And all those PhDs working hard to develop these new capabilities, working with our business stakeholders rather. What we need to have, and what we found that was slowing us down, is bringing those models to production. So many times when you talk to a company who says they have a data science capability, what that really means is they have somebody that can generate a spreadsheet and give it to another group. And what we've done is we've focused more on those kind of real-time online applications. So we talked about quoting a few moments ago. So we will quote for any customer in less than a second what the price will be to move some material from any place in the United States to any other place in the United States and give that information to that shipper in less than a second. And so that's something that we're doing right now. We've grown that capability over the last year. And then another big area that we do is what Michael mentioned before, is around a recommendation engine or a matching engine that allows you to take all the list of things that need to move, so all the things that shippers need to move, and how do we find the optimal carrier, the optimal trucking company that has a gap in their network. We can fill that gap in an efficient and optimal way and allow that carrier to move that material to get them home, let's say, after they've done another shipment, or get them to their next place they need to go to pick up somebody else's shipment. So our kind of solution allows us to fill all those gaps for all of those carriers and make sure that they're operating as efficiently as possible. And that allows us to also give back around, I think we calculated something, 260 million pounds of CO2 so far this year. So eliminate all of those potential wasted miles driving empty and have those trucks, those carriers be more efficient, and then have the shippers take advantage of those efficiencies as well.
You are listening to the Aldis Podcast. When you're looking to scale your team, or if you are interested in showcasing your company in a future episode, reach out today. Or if you're in the market for a new role, visit our website to view open positions, www.aldis.com.
Michael, I want to come to you now just to get your perspective on the roadmap ahead. Obviously, incredible growth. And from the time when we first had you on the podcast to where you are now, it's been remarkable success. It feels like there's a lot more still to do. When you look at the next 12 to 24 months, given all you've achieved thus far, hitting those milestones of $1 billion revenue, etc., when you look ahead, what are you most excited about for the next chapter?
I think the thing that I'm most excited about, we talked about the shippers, people things ship, and we talked about carriers. Those are really our outside stakeholders. But I think where I'm most excited is our internal stakeholders. We have, let's say, 1,500 people right now using our platform, internal employees. In the next couple of years, that's going to scale to 3,000 employees. And I think one of the things that we talk about a lot at Arrive is that not only are we investing in technology, we're investing in people. And we've really developed and take pride in this co-pilot model. We're not looking to replace people or a digital race to the bottom where we automate everything and it's just let the computers find the cheapest solution. We're really trying to use data, these data models and data solutions to help our people be better at what they do, to help offer carriers the best load for the trucks that they have, to increase their utilization, to be able to find the right capacity for shippers. But it even goes to being able to, through data science models, figure out what's the next thing that should happen, or is there an exception pending that we should surface to a person such that they can hop in and help complete the gaps in the overall process. So I guess where I'm excited isn't the net new innovations. It's really using technology and technical applications to solve the problems that we have today through known techniques and technologies. And that's why we've gone out and hired and are continuing to hire the best technologists and data people from across different industries, because a lot of times other industries have already solved the problems that another industry have. And at the end of the day, we're using technology and data to solve business challenges.
Which Leads nicely into you, Alex, with my final question. As someone who joined Arrive Logistics 18 months ago, coming from a different background, different industry, you've witnessed firsthand the growth and the impact that Arrive is having in the industry. And you've also played a pivotal role yourself in scaling the team. When you're speaking to candidates about Arrive, the mission, impact, the workplace, what is it that you tell candidates to get them interested enough to join Arrive over some of the other great companies trying to hire?
It's actually very similar to what I said to you at the beginning of this conversation. We are part of an amazing organization that I just haven't been a part of. Dun & Bradstreet, Applied Materials, great companies. But this company, it's just uniquely positioned. And I've been able to see the expertise and the capabilities of the team members, and being able to be a part of that and being able to contribute that is a really positive experience. The other things that I talk about are, if you're a data scientist, you want to be able to have an impact. And so one of the great things about Arrive is your models, your work, as Michael was talking about, is scaled against literally thousands of people and literally billions of dollars of material moving throughout the country. And so being able to have that contribution, being able to improve that efficiency. I also talk about that metric I threw out around 260 million pounds of CO2. We're one of a very few number of industries that actually reduce carbon emissions as we get bigger. As we improve the efficiency of the network, we are able to reduce those inefficiencies. And so being a part of something that's not only successful, not only growing and gives you career opportunities, but also having an impact and having a positive impact. These are all really attractive things. And really, it's why I'm here.
Michael, Alex, thank you both so much for coming on today. Michael, thank you for coming back on the show with all the amazing updates. It's really important to get the evolution of organizations, and we want to feature returning guests to hear about the amazing growth. And Arrive Logistics is a perfect example of how innovation, technology, and AI is helping transform industries as a whole. To hear what you guys can continue to accomplish, we wish you the best of luck in the months and years to come, and we look forward to having you back on the show again in the near future.
Thank you, JP. Absolute pleasure.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Aldis Podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and any Android podcast of choice. You can also head over to our website, www.aldis.com, to listen to more podcasts, view our open roles, and stay up to date with industry news. Thanks for listening, and stay tuned for more great episodes coming very soon.